Have you ever spent hours cramming for a test, only to feel like all that information just evaporated the second you handed it in? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. But what if I told you the problem isn't how hard you're working, but how you're working? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the science-backed secrets to actually studying effectively.
So let's just paint a picture of two students that I think we all recognize. First up, you've got the overwhelmed student. We've all been this person, right? Poring over books for 4+ hours a day, running on no sleep, highlighter in hand, and still fighting for a B. Then, on the other side, you've got the efficient student. They're studying for maybe 30 minutes a day, getting a full 8 hours of sleep, and somehow they're always in the top 5%. So what's the deal here?
What is their secret? Is it that they're just geniuses or way more dedicated? Nope. It's not about being smarter or having some superhuman willpower. The real difference is their method. They've figured out how to work with their brain instead of fighting against it. And we're going to break down exactly how they do it. So first things first, let's talk about why the methods most of us were taught just don't work that well. It all comes down to what's called the productivity illusion. This is that dangerous trap of confusing the time we spend with our books open with the knowledge we're actually putting in our heads. This really gets to the heart of a huge misunderstanding. We tend to think our brain is like a sponge, right? That if we just sit there and pour information on it, it'll all soak in. But that's not how it works at all. It's so much more like a muscle. Learning is an active process. You've got to train it, challenge it, and give it rest to let it actually grow stronger. And you know what? The data on this is just wow. Take a look at the average retention rate for passively reading something. It's a measly 10%. 10! Now compare that to an active method like actually practicing and doing problems. That jumps all the way up to 75%. And trying to teach the concept to someone else? A whopping 90%. The difference is just absolutely massive. And that's precisely why these common habits are such a waste of time. Rereading a chapter or highlighting a page feels so productive, but it's a trick. All that's happening is your brain is recognizing the material. It's saying, oh yeah, I've seen these words before. But, and this is crucial, recognizing something is completely different from being able to recall it from scratch. Okay, so if passive reviewing is like trying to fill a bucket with a giant hole in it, how do we patch the hole? Well, we've got to flip the entire script. It's time to stop just passively consuming information and start actively retrieving it from our own minds. This brings us to the single biggest game changer in all of studying, active recall. Think of it this way. Every time you force your brain to pull a piece of information out of your memory, it's like doing a rep at the gym. You're signaling to your brain, hey, this is important, keep this. And that's what builds those strong, long-lasting memories. So how do you actually do this? One of the best, most powerful ways is with something called the Feynman technique. It's brilliant because it's impossible to fool yourself. When you try to explain a complex idea in super simple terms, you immediately find out what you don't really get. Those moments where you stumble or say, that's pure gold. That's your brain telling you exactly where the gaps are. And hey, the Feynman technique is just one tool in the toolbox. Things like flashcards and practice tests, these aren't just for checking how you're doing at the end, they should be your main study method. The best students know that every practice question isn't a test, it's a training session for your brain's recall muscle. Okay, so active recall is the what. We've got that. But to make sure knowledge actually stays with you for good, you need a system. The when and the how you study are just as critical. And this is where spaced repetition comes into play. Think about it. Cramming for 6 hours straight is basically screaming to your brain, hey, I only need this for one day. So what does your brain do? It treats it like junk mail and throws it out. But when you space that same study time out over several days, you're sending the opposite signal. This is important. Store it. The results are just insane. We're talking up to a 400% boost in memory. And you really don't need some complicated app for this. A super simple schedule works just fine. The real trick here is to review the information just as you're about to forget it. It's called interrupting the forgetting curve. That little struggle to remember forces your brain to work harder, and that effort is what cements the memory for the long term. But how do you stay focused during these sessions without just completely burning out? Well, a fantastic tool for this is the Pomodoro technique. Instead of trying to run a marathon study session, you work in short, intense 25-minute sprints. It's a simple little mind trick that keeps you fresh and helps you beat that mental fatigue that always leads to procrastination. And finally, we have to talk about the most underrated study tool of all, sleep. Seriously, this is absolutely non-negotiable.
Sacrificing sleep to study is the single worst trade you can make. While you're asleep, your brain is working hard, organizing and storing what you learned, moving it from short-term to long-term memory. Without that sleep, a lot of your hard work literally gets thrown away.
All right, let's put all the pieces together into a new blueprint. The goal is to stop thinking about putting in more hours. The real goal is to make the hours you do spend studying actually count. It's all about making that shift from brute force effort to smart, targeted effectiveness. So look, if you forget everything else from this and only remember three things, make it these. Number one, test yourself instead of just rereading. Number two, study a little bit every day, space it out. And number three, practice the kind of stuff you'll actually be tested on. If you can build your study habits around these three principles, you will be way, way ahead of the curve.
So I'm going to leave you with one final question to chew on. Just take a second and be honest with yourself. Knowing what you know now, the difference between just being busy and actually being effective, how would you rate your own methods? Because that first step, just realizing there's a better way to do things, that's half the battle right there.